Welcome back to Trails in the Sky, the third. I almost said SC for a second there, but no, we're past that. Last time, we went through our first moon door, and the only required door in the game, and learned a little bit more about what Tina's been up to since the end of Sky SC, and found out about her new resolve to connect with Ren, and also found out that Agate is horribly doomed in his future, but yeah, we'll get to that later, because that Star Door actually has a second part. So, now we can continue down these stairs, and yeah, we can warp to the next part of the Jade Corridor. Just how long does this place go on for? It's so strange, too. The Shadow Towers were weird enough, but even they made a lot more sense than this does. Is something wrong, Reese? What did you go all quiet for? Well, I was just wondering what that is. What is? Huh? What? What's the Arsail doing here? You recognize this ship? Aha, it belongs to the royal family of Laberle. We used it to get to the top of that floating city. Interesting. Do you have an idea how something could have possibly ended up here? Maybe it was sent here the same way we were? I don't think we'll get anywhere speculating. Could have come in our way, could have come in some other way, we just don't know. The best thing for us to do now is to see what the guys inside have to say. So yeah, we actually have the Arsail over there, and I believe that's how it's pronounced because I found out that it actually has been said in voice acting in Cold Steel. Yeah, it makes an impact even that much further into the series, and it was said that way, so yeah, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. So we're about to, I was going to talk about, in this part a little bit about how delay works, but we're going to be seeing something new kind of soon, so I'll get to that after we've gone through what's about to come.
Alright, what's next?
Yeah, I got a horn out of that monster. That's a monster ingredient we can use to cook certain things. This is the thing that I needed to talk about. Which also flickers a little bit on this graphic setting. I don't know if it's supposed to be flickering like that. Huh. This is like that monument in the area we started in. Though it's not glowing like that one is. The one in that garden had no glow in the beginning either. Kevin, do you want to give it a try? I was just thinking the same thing. Cube, do your thing. Ooh, I suspected as much. When we activated the first monument, it said, "Release my brethren." I guess now we know what it meant. Then do you think this monument might have the same power as the other one? Most likely. It should come in handy at least. Inspecting monuments scattered around throughout the game allows you to use the cube to restore their power. Much like the one in the base area, you can use these to restore HP and EP, buy equipment, and make quartz. They also function as checkpoints, allowing you to warp to them using the cube, so both doors and monuments are warp points. In addition, any new items available will be added to the base monument stock as well. Remember this. I don't actually think it's supposed to be flickering that much, but anyway, if we go to shop here, yeah, they now sell more things, especially a better weapon for Tita, which I need in order to keep her damage up to the standards of the enemies here. No different armor though, but we can now buy black bangles and glam chokers to prevent certain status ailments. Now, black bangles. I would recommend buying 3 of these now. You're going to want a full set for the boss of Chapter 1, but we're going to be finding one in the chest quite shortly, so don't buy more than 3. Anyway, we can also buy these things. That is weird. Purging Balm is objectively better than Tear Balm, and it's the same price. I have no idea why. And if you want, you can get Reviving Balms. They're still fairly expensive. We will probably be needing a few of those later. But one thing that you do want to do, though, every new monument you see, synthesize quartz. because we lost access to most of our quartz earlier, but this game gives you access to synthesizing high-level quartz pretty quickly, so always check these, just in case there's any new quartz that you can make. There isn't any new action or cast quartz. Whenever you have access to higher tier action quartz, definitely make them, you will need them. But we do have, I don't think we had range 1 before. This increases the area of effect of your spells. That can be useful for a few things. I guess I'll take one of those. I really wish I could get an extra action one for Tita, but it looks like I can't yet. We can also trade Seepeth here. And yeah, if we go to the cube menu, we now have access to warps in the first plane. Also here you can see just how many warp points that aren't doors there are in that plane. So there's one more monument we need to find. Also we can access moon doors here to warp to them. And it also gives you a bit of a reminder as to how you activate them. So we can't go that way yet. But if we go this way and go up these steps, we have this, and if we head down these stairs here... Oh, okay, that might be where the flickering is coming from. In fact, I might actually just quit out for a little bit and open the DirectX 8 version of the game, because that might actually fix that. I've noticed that DirectX 9 has some issues with graphics sometimes. But anyway, we have a choice of 2 warp points, and I'm going to take this one first, because it dead ends sooner. We also end up in an area here with, a whole bunch of these statues surrounding us. I guess we can fight one of them. We've fought all of these before, but as you probably noticed earlier on, they have enormously high physical defense. So you want to use art against them. And I have a guard turn now. This is, I believe, the first time we're seeing a guard turn, and part of me is just tempted to show how frustrating they are, but, so, say I was to use Mortal Punishment here.
Let's end this.
It does absolutely nothing. So any attack that happens on a guard turn will do no damage to enemies that it hits. Fortunately, this does not apply to healing or any supportive arts. So you can freely use those to cast buffs or healing spells or things like that. That's probably what you're supposed to use them for. You're also probably intended to use them to basically force enemies into them to make enemies waste their attacks. The problem is it's very hard to manipulate the turn order that well, especially since you will typically be a lot faster than enemies, well, a lot faster than non-boss enemies for the most part. There are some incredibly fast enemies though later on in this game, especially on Nightmare difficulty. In fact, not even later on. In Chapter 2 there are some freakishly fast enemies, but we'll get to that later. That is kind of weird. For what I was saying earlier about, oh, yeah, dodge tanking is not reliable in this game, Kevin is dodging quite a lot with the evade quartz he has. These Grimoires are overall pretty pathetic at this point in the game, but Grimoires are a little interesting. They're kind of one of the few common enemies that you'll be seeing in almost every plane, and they get a few more new tricks as we progress forward. Oh, I forgot to equip the new gun for Tita. Yeah, always remember to actually equip things. Huh, that thing's got a rush turn. It's probably not going to do much of any real consequence because it'll have to spend its next turn charging anyway. That's the only thing that they can really do. Now, you may also notice that I've talked about this before, how I was using Aqua Bleed on these things, even though they are weak to time as well as water. That quote is supposed to be rare. I don't know why she's saying it so much here. But that's because of delay, and I'm going to talk about delay in more detail in this part. I never actually talked much about it back in SC. Like, the exact mechanics of it. This thing here is a bone mage, so obviously it's going to be trying to cast stuff. In fact, do I have any... No, wait, Reese is the one who has an impede skill. But yeah, Arc Fencer will impede enemy casting. Some types of skills are immune to it, like you saw back in that Gilbert fight earlier, and I still haven't equipped Tita's weapon, but in that Gilbert fight earlier, you may have noticed that, that I was unable to cancel, the Pale Apache's attack. Oh, it's just using healing, okay. That's kind of cheating. You heal way more than our healing does. Yeah, Seal is not going to affect you because you're an Art caster. And as we continue to move down here, we have a couple of chests, and we also have this. This is kind of the main reason I came here. Bring to me the only girl in a band who takes to the skies. Only then shall the door open. I wonder who that could be referring to. That is our first sun door. And as you know, sun doors are minigames. We'll find out what minigame that is, but we can't open it yet. But at the very least, it's a warp point. We also get here, Black Bangle. Do you really have nothing better to do than to open all of us a second time? Well, yeah, you actually need to get the quotes for the achievement. And Glam Choker. 11 out of 36. The face greeted customers with an aged brick that had long eroded to the point of holes. The cracked windows, tape for stability, and adorned with cobwebs and insect droppings were repugnance. Yeah, the localizers had a lot more fun with the chess quotes this time. They put actual stories in some of them. So yeah, in addition to all of the in-game books, we also have full short stories contained in chess quotes. So now that we've gone through there, now I will finally start talking after I go ahead and equip Tina with this, and after I save and open the DirectX 8 version, because I feel like that's going to stop the flickering. It's still flickering a little bit, but it's better, it seems like. Maybe it's just something in terms of my computer. But as we progress through here, we have another warp point in our future. Smelling salts we get out of this chest. Why is Dean called the Spinach Fiend anyway? Does he just really like spinach? That's a reference to a character from the earlier Sky games we might be seeing a little bit later. Extra spicy fries, a new recipe. Don't you hate it when someone opens your door and doesn't close it when they leave? Stares menacingly. And Tear Balm. 27 of 36. With one particularly obnoxious clink, she set down her utensils, then glared at him with an uncomfortable firmness that would have a lesser man avert his eyes in shame. She bit her bottom lip before asking... I love it when stories have trollish cliffhangers like that. So as I promised, how delay works. So, every action you take in battle will add a delay value towards your next turn. Using a normal attack has a delay value of 30, while moving has a delay value of 20, as does using an item. How does the delay value actually impact things? Well, the delay value of your action is multiplied by 100. Because of this, a lot of people like to treat every action's delay value as having 2 extra zeros on it. So some people like to say that attacking has a delay of 3,000 instead of 30. But regardless, it's multiplied by 100, and then divided by your character's speed stats, and that equals the actual delay that's put into the combat order. Then when it comes to the combat order, at the beginning of every action, the game checks the delay value of everybody on the battlefield, both allies and enemies, finds whoever has the lowest delay among them, then subtracts how much delay they have from... this one's not flickering for some reason. From every combatant. Now, that person who the delay was subtracted from has a delay value of 0, and they get to act next. Then they'll do their action, the delay from that action is then added onto them, and then the game will check everybody's delay once more, and find the person with the lowest delay, subtract that from everyone, and so on and so forth. Yeah, here we are at the Golden Wings. Or was it the Silver Wings? I think it was the Silver Wings, actually. What a beautiful airship. It's not just pretty either, it's got really high specs too. Yeah, Tita's always concerned about the technical stuff. Last I heard, its top speed was raised to 3,600 SPH. 3,600 SPH? That's even faster than a Merkaba. Is Tita supposed to know what a Merkaba is? What's a Merkaba? Oh, it's a kind of airship the church uses. Anyway, never mind that now. Something's up here. It doesn't look like there's anyone inside at all. Yeah, you're right. And the orbital engines don't seem to be on. We ought to be on guard inside. So yeah, I love this, how you just hop right onto it like that. It's just kind of a silly looking animation, but it's also cool. There are no signs of life in here at all. This ship must have been abandoned for at least a few days, if not more. The orbital power seems to be completely down too. Makes me wonder if there was some kind of problem with the engines? Well, we're not going to figure anything out standing here. Let's take a look around. There might be some kind of clue around that'll help us discover what happened. So, let's explore the ship. But first, we can head straight out and open this chest for royal spikes. You took all my loot. How am I supposed to pay my room and board now? Royal spikes are some shoes here, and some sources include those with the chests for inside the sail. Some of them include them for the chest inside the Jade Corridor. Some of them treat them both as the same set of chests. I'm going to be treating the ones inside and outside the sail separately, so this one's going to be considered an outside Jade Corridor chest. But anyway, this one increases movement and agility. Agility raises your evade rate. But, as I've said, it's usually not, like, super reliable or anything. I do like the music here, it's kind of peaceful. But we can't access that door because the power's out, so our only option is downstairs. Can't access that door because the power's out, but in here we can reach the mess hall. And do not forget about this chest, it's quite easy to miss it. A recipe was written on a scrap of paper within. We learned the recipe for easy paella. Do you have any idea how old that dish was? Well, I mean, there wasn't an actual dish in there, just, you know, the recipe itself. And yeah, it doesn't give you the dish because easy paella is a sit-down meal. I personally don't use sit-down meals that often because they can't be consumed in battle, only on the field. And restoring 4000 HP to all, I mean, you can just warp to Hermit's Garden or another monument and use the heal. There's really no reason to use HP restoring food outside of battle when you can do that. So yeah, sit-down meals, personally, I think they're only really for recipe completion. In terms of the recipe book, I don't even know, I forget if there's even an achievement for completing the recipe book in this game. We can access this door now for 300 mirror. Did you know the Trails in the Sky games now have a nifty skip S-craft feature on PC? That's not even in the original Japanese version. Isn't that neato torpedo? That's a phrase I need to adopt in real life more. But yeah, skipping S-crafts was not a feature in the Japanese version. So yeah, you can press, usually it's just the cancel button or most buttons. Like, I actually forget exactly which button it is to skip S-crafts. It's generally most buttons will do it. But yeah, you can skip the S-craft animations in this game, which is quite good because a lot of them are very long. And they're cool when you see them the first time, but when you're using them a whole lot, it can get a little bit annoying to see them over and over again. Is this some kind of factory? Yep. It's the area where the maintenance crew does all their work, but there sure isn't anyone here right now. This is bizarre. Just where did everyone go? I remember this place, deciphering those tetracyclic towers reports here and making new quartz, upgrading everyone's slots to level 3. On the other side of this door is the ship's engine room, right? That's right. The 8 state-of-the-art XG02 engines that serve as its main engines are stored in here. I'm gonna go take a look at them. It's no good, I couldn't get any of them to turn on at all. I'm not even sure why they won't work either. I see. Well, we already know that this place is more or less has its own laws. It wouldn't be unusual if one of those caused machinery of all kinds to become non-functional. I wish I could help you out more. Still, I was at least able to secure a backup orbital power line. So that computer over there should be good to go. Really? That's plenty of help, Tita. Let's check it out and see what it can let us do. Tita, always helping us with the technology. The Orbital Calculator, Capel System Volume 8.0. Yeah, we now know that Erica worked on this. Security can be disabled in event of emergency. Select an area to unlock. Bridge, conference room, medical room, do nothing. So, the kind of annoying thing about this is you can't just open up every door in one go. You actually have to re-examine and turn on the computer again all 3 times to open the 3 doors, which is admittedly a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. I mean, it's certainly not, like, the most inconvenient thing in the world. It's just, like, one thing you have to do at one point in the game. There's actually only one door that's required, and that's the bridge, but the other 2 lead to chests, so I'm going to be opening them. I just thought of from Star Wars Episode 1, seal off the bridge! Yeah, that's a film that I still kind of like, ironically. I mean, it's obviously not a good film at all, but it's a pretty funny one, for all the wrong reasons. Reviving Balm in the med bay. How about that? You found the greatest gift of all. Love. Again, I wonder if Olivier wrote that one. And we should be able to access the conference room now. So in here, there is another chest. Hit 2. 23 of 36. Sure, but selling it won't help you escape from your father's shadow. Ouch, there was that sharp tongue of hers. He really did adore it when his old man wasn't the topic of discussion. We're keeping it. Now, I should also mention, there are multiple short stories, and you probably won't, and multiple of them, I think, have 36 parts, so you might not know, like, which these are part of, and it's a lot to keep track of, but I'm sure online someone's got a record of all of them. And so in here, we can see just outside of this place, like, that vast space, but also another sealing stone. Another one of these, huh? Wow, it's so pretty. What is it, though? It's called a sealing stone. This is just like that stone you were imprisoned in, as it so happens. It was this pretty? It's still weird to think about, but at the same time, it's kinda nice, too. Oh yes, if I was trapped within a stone, I too would want it to be pretty. Because that's the priority you should have in that situation. Anyway, if that idea we had about not being able to proceed without freeing whoever's in these is true, there's only one thing to do. Ready to head back to the base and unlock this little guy? Of course. Okay. And yeah, that's really all we can do now. There isn't much we can do to progress in this area until we head back to base and free this person from the stone. And this time, the ceiling doesn't actually kick in automatically. Unleash sealing stone. You want to do this before you go to the spring. Ooh. Is this the part where someone comes out of it? Given past precedent, most likely so. Whether it's someone completely different or a second Tita remains to be seen. A second me? If you've jinxed us and we really do get a second Tita, I hope you're ready to be our new mom. Naturally, I love her like my own. I love this. It's so great. Of course, if we did get a second Tita, then we could merge them and make a +1 Tita! I have been waiting to use that joke since I first played this game, and saw that line for the first time. It feels so satisfying to finally get that off my chest. Yeah, the first time that I played this game, it was actually, I think it was relatively early into Fire Emblem Heroes' lifespan. It was the start of 2018. Actually, no, wait, no, Heroes was 2017, but Heroes was still going pretty strong back then. Military uniform? Wait, isn't that... I knew it. The stone being inside the Arsail did make me wonder if it'd be someone related to it, and I was right on the mark. Ugh. What happened? Echo, report! What? How the... You're probably feeling kind of confused right now, but it's good to see you again, Julia. Father? Tita? Before greeting all of you, I would simply like to ask, is this a dream or illusion or reality? I see. To be honest, all of this is a little hard to swallow, but it's clear I have no choice but to do so. Thanks for being quick on the uptake. Do you happen to remember what happened to you before you found yourself here? Were you also surrounded by a white light last night? It feels closer to mere moments ago rather than last night, but I'd assume so. I was on my way back to Leyston Fortress after finishing an airborne training exercise when it happened. I was sitting on my usual chair on the bridge when the white light you speak of appeared, and then, well, I have no memories between that and finding myself here. That about matches up with us then. All of us were drawn in here in roughly the same circumstances, and at roughly the same time. Might you have any idea what happened to the rest of the ship's crew? I'm afraid not. I would be somewhat relieved if I were the only one drawn into this, but I have my doubts. Seeing as the Arsail itself is here, could the rest of the crew have ended up in here too? Or is it possible it was just you? We really don't have enough to go on to be sure either way at this point. All we know is that there was no one else in the Arsail when we found it. The only sealing stone there was the one Julia was inside of too. Father Graham, the two of you have started to investigate this peculiar place, have you not? That's right. We haven't been doing it for very long, so we haven't made much progress yet. Then please allow me to assist you. I'm concerned about the safety of my subordinates, and I want to know why the Arsail became non-functional. And I think cooperating with the three of you will be the fastest way for me to answer both of those questions. I'd love that. Believe me, you won't see us complaining. We have to be nuts to turn down the help of the Royal Army's finest up-and-coming swordsman. I fear you are overestimating my swordsmanship, but I appreciate you allowing me to accompany you all the same. Well, in that case, we should get started as soon as possible. It's my pleasure to fight alongside you all. Likewise, we're happy to have you. Just when we get back out of all this, maybe stay away from Erica. Just saying. So we have Julia now, and I'm going to go drink from the spring to recover her CP. So, Julia Schwartz. I am so glad that Sky the Third gives her more screen time. In SC, she was playable for one boss fight, and then didn't join permanently until right before the final dungeon, at which point she was horrifically outclassed at everything she could do. She's kind of designed as a bit of a hybrid physical attacker and arts user. She's not great at either though. If we look at her orbment, it's okay. In fact, it's actually a similar setup to Reese, but it does have 2 restricted space slots, which can be a little frustrating to deal with. But she also does come with Action 1, which is nice, and in fact, almost all of her starting kit is very good. Really, the only thing I'd do is maybe replace that shield with an HP. So, Julia. She has some kind of unique crafts, including a buffing one that is going to be pretty useful to us going forward when we don't have access to Clock Up EX. I'll show that when we get into a fight with her. I'm also going to go ahead and spread around my black bangles because the boss of this floor uses sleep attacks. So you'll want to make sure you're protected against those. So, normally I would consider Julia to be a jack-of-all-trades, master of none, who wouldn't really be that helpful except very early in the game. She'd kind of act as a crutch character. Except for one thing. Julia has a very unique aspect to her, and it might not be immediately obvious what this is. In fact, it's a bit of a guide dagger. But this aspect makes Julia, and I am not kidding, one of the best party members in the game, for this alone. In fact, she is often used against late-game super bosses on Nightmare. That's how good she is. Now, she is very much a one-trick character. This is pretty much the only thing good about her later in the game. But it is so good that, again, it is pretty much worth it. I'm gonna move Tita over here because she's had a lot of trouble actually getting into range of her cannon, even with the long barrel EX. Still love her art though. And is there anything new that we can synthesize right now? Oh, we do have 100 times, so let's go ahead and make an action quartz for Tita. That's gonna help her. Yes, Tita's speed goes from 39 to 42, and that might not seem like much, but because of it being divided by your delay value, every little bit of speed helps. The more you have, the less you'll be delayed by every action, and this pillar is still flickering. But now that we've freed Julia, we can head downstairs here. And hopefully I will be able to show off the special thing about Julia when we get into another fight. There are going to be a lot of enemies around here, and I think this is about the point where another kind of metal slime-esque enemy can show up. This part of the Jade Corridor is very much just a linear trek down. We are actually very close to the end of this place, so that's actually part of why I'm gonna try and try and head through the rest of here in a single part. But we have Bone Rangers, though. Throws status bones. But okay, Kevin's casting. Now, actually, before I wonder, I'm just trying to think about something. I'm gonna go ahead and show this off first. So, okay, before I go over that though, Mirageburg. This is actually kind of cool. This lets Julia essentially give herself Earthguard for the cost of 30 CP, which can be useful. It also has very low delay on it, as you can see by when her next turn comes. Yeah, and you can see like where your next turn will come in terms of delay. You can see here that Lanzenwitter has less delay on it than Attack Orders does, but Mirageburg has less delay on it than that. And then Trinity Kleist is her S-Craft. But yeah, Attack Orders, plus 20% strength and plus 10% speed in an AoE. Now, plus 10% speed is not going to be that good later on in the game once we get Clock Up EX, which is plus 50% speed. But at this point, we only have access to regular Clock Up, which is still better, mind you, but it's good to get you started off in a fight. Every little bit of speed helps. Though I should also mention that it's only, okay, so speed is only taken into account when you actually do your action. If you increase somebody's speed before they cast arts, let's just say, that isn't going to make the art be cast any faster. Speaking of arts actually have 2 delay values on them. They have their cast time, and then they have the delay after you cast. And that is actually interesting, because most arts, the cast time varies, but most of them have a delay value of 20 after being cast. Some of them have different amounts of delay though, and that's why I was using Aqua Bleed over Soul Blur on the enemies that are weak to both time and water. Because Aqua Bleed has a delay after casting of 20, whereas Soul Blur actually has a delay after casting of 25. That's the same for Ascension as well, but I still think that Ascension's delay is worth it because of it hitting the weakness on these things, most of these things. So, okay. That special thing about Julia, I don't actually have to have Julia be the one to initiate. Oh, but you only have Chain 1, so that's actually not good. Okay, I guess I'll have you... No, I'll just have you stay here for now. Do you have a higher... Okay, you do have Chain 3. Okay, so it's time to show off Chain Crafts. What these do is that you can select up to 4 people if you have Chain 3. If you only have Chain 1, you can only select 1 extra person. Now, every person after the first costs an extra 10 CP out of their CP meter. So if I do this with, say, Julia second, she'll spend 30 CP. Then Kevin third, he'll spend 40. And then Reese last, she'll spend 50. The more people you use for the chain, the more range this will have on it, and also the more your strength is multiplied. Yes, these kind of count as regular attacks, but they multiply your strength the more you do them. However, chain crafts have had increased delay since SC as well. Now you'll get, I think, like, the delay value, if it's a full party chain craft, is like 40 delay for the entire party. It might be 50, but it can be very bad against fast bosses. You can end up getting multi-turn by them and then boss just systematically exterminating you. However, here is what chain crafts can do.
Come on, everyone. There's no problem. Ready.
Now, did you watch Julia closely there? Julia has unique properties in Chain Crafts. She and only one other character in the game do this, but in Chain Crafts, Julia hits everything in the area of effect twice. And this alone makes Julia absolutely amazing as a party member. It might not seem like much. It's very easy to underestimate chain crafts because they're not as flashy as S-crafts, but in the right circumstances, namely with a fully strength buff party, and Julia is good at that thanks to her attack orders. In fact, here's another good circumstance. If you use a chain craft on a critical turn, every single hit in the chain will be a critical. So, as I said, in the right circumstances, chain crafts can out-damage S-crafts, sometimes by a very considerable margin. And again, that alone makes Julia one of the most valuable party members in this game. And Reese is actually pretty effective when used with Julia, because Reese can keep Julia topped up on CP with Holy Blessing. See if I can get attack. Oh, I can get attack orders in before the enemies go. Right. I'm just gonna. I mean, Kevin's gonna kill one of them, but if I do chain 3, then I go. I guess we can go Reese first because she has less CP right now than you, and we can catch 2 of them in this. And the individual attacks of Chaincrafts hit every enemy in the AoE as well. Yeah, see, look at that. Julia hitting twice. That really adds up. Especially against bosses. Like, I can't stress enough how good this is. A lot of people don't realize this effect. We get fresh water here. Empty chest. Why not fill it up again at Bo's Market? Maybell. Yep, gotta love her business savvy. That fresh water, by the way, is actually something that you really want to get into your recipe book. Because it cures KO, and it's better than Reviving Balm, and cheaper to get too. But it does require monster ingredients to make, so you may not be able to make it that much right now. Also, we have extra spicy fries, so spicy they cure freeze status, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I like to call Julia the Queen of Chaincrafts. I think Julia is voiced by Julianne Taylor, I think the voice actress of Cordelia in Fire Emblem Awakening. I'm pretty positive I'm right about that.
Not bad.
Oh, we have another chest here. And it's a bunch of Seepeth, not time though. I hear Olivier makes his pack Mueller carry all his belongings for him. Yeah, there's a lot of those. Yeah, I think it's. I don't know if Brittany Avery was responsible for all of the chest quotes. She's one of the localizers of the games while they were still at Exceed, and I think she still contributes localization to the ones localized by Nisa, because people love her work on the series so much, but I think she's responsible for a lot of the chess quotes. She even contributed some chess quotes to the fan translation of the Crossbell games, which is something that I'm really hoping, no, I was hoping there'd be a thing. I can't say what it is because it hasn't shown up yet, but I was hoping there would be a thing here, but yeah. Okay, Kevin leveled up, and just like in Trails in the Sky SC, you learn stronger versions of your existing crafts. Now, Cross Gear Rage is special because it doesn't just get stronger, it also gains a delay effect. Delay in this game, in terms of, like, attacks that inflict delay, nowhere near as broken as it is in later Trails games. Like, in Cold Steel, you can just stack delay on enemies and make sure they never get a turn. It's really, really ridiculous, but here, you can't quite do that, but it can still be kind of effective. So yeah, here we go. It says, now with more range and a delay effect. Not quite enough range to actually hit that thing, though. I can get a little closer, though. In general, I much prefer Kevin to be casting than to be using his crafts, but it can be nice if you want to delay something.
For the sake of my master.
Okay, good. Level up on Julia. That's always good for more stats on her. She always wants more stats because her chain crafts are amazing.
For the sake of my master.
Okay, Tita levels up from that one. Juicy Bone isn't what I need. I think it's clear gelatin that's required for making the fresh water. Fishy Finale. I really should have ordered that security augment from ZCF. And okay, 50 times Seepeth, that's less than I would want though. A forgotten chest, despoiled and left behind. It's sad, lot in life. I wonder if Jin Sakai made that quote. Yeah, I want to try and fight everything I can because there isn't a... I was really hoping... If I don't find one of these before the boss, I'm going to have to try and go back and see if I can make one show up because I really want to show them. Because we're getting very close to the end of this place.
Alright, what's next?
Okay, Reese levels up out of that. Yeah, we are leveling up pretty quickly. Yes, 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 yes! There it is! There it is! Okay, this right here, Slime Lump. This is kind of the metal slime of this game, although there are still shining palms in this one. Slime lumps are a little tricky to kill at this point in the game. They're very fast, they actually hit very hard, and if they die, they buff everything else on the map. However, if you kill them, they drop, as you can see by the Seepith there, they drop a lot of Seepith, in particular time. They are by far the best source of time Seepith at this point in the game, and you will want to fight them because, yeah, like as you can see, if I cast with Kevin, the slime lump goes after him, and they can flee. They usually like to flee. I wonder if I can get a... I may be able to get a chain going. Just kind of thinking, Can I actually cross-gear Rage to the slime lump and delay it? I don't know if this will work though, we'll see. It may be immune to it. Okay, no, it was not immune to delay, okay. It's still going when it is though. Like, I normally like to S-craft them, but,
Strike is one.
Okay, I've got an idea here. If I have you Holy Blessing Tita, so that Tita will have her S-break ready. And then, okay, so Tita might be able to catch one of these in a chain. 1, 2, 3... I can get the slime lump and that. They do have pretty good evasion though, and attacks and chain crafts can miss. Whereas S crafts can't miss. I think an S craft should be guaranteed to kill it. Okay, good, it killed it. And yeah, there's death throws. It doesn't matter because everything else here is dead. But it does buff the strength and speed of every other enemy on the field when it dies. But now there is one other interesting aspect to slime lumps. But, like, yeah, as you can see, they give a lot of time seekers. Their random drops are also very, very useful. So if we go here and we check Slime Lump, Sludgy Cookie is one of their drops, but also Freezing Meatballs, Bloody Meatballs, Queenly Cookie, and in fact, all of their drops are attack food. Now, attack food is interesting in this game. Attack food will hit enemies in a certain area with a fixed strength stat. Now, as you can see there, that is a strength stat of 2000, which is considerably higher than what we have right now. That's actually an attack food item from much later in the game, and if we use that now, it is going to be doing disgusting amounts of damage. So slime lumps, I find, are a very unique type of metal slime, in that you don't really fight them much for the experience. You fight them for the Seepith they drop, as well as their attack food, which is even better than the Seepith they drop.
For the sake of my master.
And I say that when the Seepith they drop is already amazing. Like, seriously, I'm going to be saving this attack food, but if you use this on the upcoming boss, it's going to do incredible amounts of damage. Attack food is kind of like an anti-elixir syndrome item, I feel. Elixir syndrome being, you know, you get an item and it's like, oh, I want to hold on to this, I don't want to use it. Well, the thing is, if you use these the moment when you first get access to them, they are completely ridiculous. But if you wait to use them until the end of the game, you will actually have way more than 2,000 strength by that point, and so, yeah, you'll end up not doing a lot of damage with them. And here we have a hallway with a whole bunch of these statues, and also a cube that's going to be taking us down. This thing looks so cool. Like, as far as, like, elevators go, I love how this looks. Just the whole aesthetic of inside wherever we are is just fantastic in this game. There is an inactive monument there, though. And that's going to be where we'll stop for this part. This isn't good. Noticed it too, huh? Notice what? Do you sense monsters? I can't feel anything of the sort. That's normal. I doubt anyone who isn't part of the church would recognize what's going on. It's a peculiar kind of rotting smell, the scent of the underworld. It's faint, but it's there, and it's coming from the area up ahead. Whatever is lying in wait for us, it's going to be unlike any of the other things we have fought up till this point. We're going to need to be exceptionally careful. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. Still, if we intend to proceed with our investigation, we have no choice but to advance, whatever may stand in our way. But before that, I'm going to be activating this so that we have a warp point back here. Restoring. And I'll see you next time for what lies ahead.